Welcome to the MSP Corner podcast. Before we kick off our show, we would like to share what our main objective is at the MSP Corner. Our main goal is to help CEOs build profitable and self-sustainable IT service firms. We are not just providing tools for IT firms, we will be sitting in meetings with you to ensure your IT firm stays on track. The first area we are focused on, strategic sales. IT firms are stuck selling technology or IT support. We will provide you with the blueprint so you position your firm as an added value to your prospects. We will have framework on how to sell value so you influence the prospect into selecting your firm. The second area we see many IT firms struggle in is marketing. 90+% of businesses rely on antiquated marketing methods. The most popular choice, word of mouth. We have proven methods on how to attract the ideal prospect. Our framework will include how to become the online authority and be the business influencer for an industry. The third component to our package, scaling. IT firms walk away from opportunities because they lack the bandwidth or skill set to scale. We have lined up reputable businesses so our members can hire on-demand resources that will allow them to scale their business. The fourth area we will offer help in, selecting the right tools. In order to deliver value, you need the right tech stack. Our platform will offer information on products that are the ideal choice for MSPs. The fifth area we will offer help in is with documentation. Templates are a critical component when building an MSP. We will have contracts, proposals, SOWs, collateral, and much more in the template section. You will have every document you need to start up your managed IT service business. Thank you for tuning in. Let's go to our next podcast.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning into the MSP Corner podcast. I am your host, Fernando Leon, and I'm joined by my co-host, Gregory Moravietz. And we've got a interesting show today. And the title of today's show is The Content Engine Behind MSP Growth. And we're a testimony to that. Why are we a testimony? Well, we have 30 to 40 CEOs contact us each month asking about our services. That's why I feel we are the authority and can confidently say that marketing works. But there's so much that goes behind it. There's just and I think a lot of you will relate, because I'm going to use a few anecdotes today on why leadership is so critical in marketing, IT, sale. It doesn't matter. You need a leader in specific areas if you plan to succeed. All right. Before we start any show, we have an agenda, and we always have an introduction. And these are the topics we're going to discuss. Why websites fail without consistent content. Google rewards motion, not stillness. Content is the currency of authority. Why consistency creates compounding growth. The real blueprint for a lead producing content engine. Why your website will never produce leads without content. And then a short little blurb on the MSP Corner, and I'll give my final thoughts. So let me just start off again with welcome back to the show. So we're going to take on a topic that quietly limits the growth of most MSPs and MSSPs, or if you're an IT service firm in the break-fix model, or you're a VAR, or even a VoIP provider who is exploring offering IT services to their clients, because it's a great complement to your current VoIP services. We're going to talk about why websites are producing leads. And the truth is, is simple. It's I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's it's not your site. Your site isn't the problem. It's the lack of the lack of consistently creating content, such as blogs, videos, webinars, podcasts, like we're on today. Those are your real lead engines. And today we're going to break down exactly why consistency compounds on your authority level and how CEOs can finally fix the visibility problem holding you back. So, let me start off with our first topic of why websites fail without consistent content. What do we mean by that? Well, most MSP websites fail because they operate like static brochures instead of active sales engines. Buyers no longer trust stale or stagnant sites with outdated blogs or generic service pages. They trust firms that communicate consistently, illustrate current thinking, and publish insights that reflect real operational maturity. Your competitors aren't beating you because they're cheaper or smarter or bigger. They're simply more visible. And in this industry, visibility is often interpreted as being credible, as being the authority. Because just because you have a website doesn't mean that, oh, people are going to start finding you. You've published and indexed your site. And there's so much more than just producing a website and having a page of services that describe your your expertise. So it's much. I can't even emphasize how much more it is than just that. So, Greg, let me ask you this: when you see MSP struggle with content creation, what would you advise them to do? What would you say? You know, how would you spin that?
Well, I would either say do one of two things: make a lot of content all at once and try to slow roll it out, or get on a schedule where you're making content continuously and just it's in your schedule. You're like every morning at 8 to 9, you have to make content.
That's a good start to a framework, is making a commitment, having the discipline to creating content. But here's something that's going to be really important, is that if you're going to do that, which I highly recommend, is you create a schedule. Okay, on Mondays, I create my blogs. On Tuesdays, I record a podcast. Once a month, I do a webinar that solves problems for legal offices, accountants, whatever. You've got to create a schedule and you've got to stick to it. And you've got to create quality content, not just some superficial superficial content. It's just not going to work. You've got to create something that is going to solve problems. It has some really good advice in there. All right, so let's talk about Google rewards motion, not a static site, because most MSPs often claim, I hear it all the time, SEO doesn't work. And let me tell you, it does work. We're not a marketing firm. We're not here to sell our marketing services. We're here to tell you, you need guidance. You need an expert that can sit there with you and help you create the framework Greg was just talking about. Because if you don't have that guidance, you're not going to go anywhere. You can sit there and say, "Oh, I'm going to start creating content for doctors' offices." Well, someone's going to have to hold you accountable. And I'm going to highly recommend, if you're the CEO of an IT service firm, you've got bigger things to do. You need to work with somebody that can manage that for you. Ensure that you stay on point, you stay on schedule. You're held accountable to your podcasts every week. But here's the real issue. is that many IT service firms don't produce new content. Google rewards sites with movement, fresh blogs, updated pages, uh, videos, podcasts, and a social media presence. Believe it or not, Google is tracking if people like your videos on social media. They track who left comments. So it just tells them, hey, these guys are popular. People are talking about them. They are providing quality content. So that adds to your authority level. All of this is in their algorithm. They're not. This is not. This is not done. This Gregory, our MSP did not become the number one organic choice by accident. This was all by design, all by us creating a plan and executing. But when nothing new is published, your ranking is going to decline. Your authority level is going to fade. MSPs end up invisible, not because they lack expertise or experience, but because they stop feeding the machine that drives discoverability. You can't win organic traffic without consistent, insight-driven, published information. You just can't. Now, my next topic is content is the currency of authority. I cannot even. That's an understatement, a complete understatement, because you can't claim authority. You got to demonstrate it, right? And content is how you demonstrate expertise at scale. A blog, believe it or not, reveals how you think. A video shows your clarity, your experience, and a webinar highlights your frameworks. And a podcast exposes your strategic mind. Prospects use your content library to decide whether you are credible, trustworthy, long before they even decide to call you. Without a content engine, buyers assume your thinking is undeveloped or outdated. That's just the bottom line. You cannot expect people to believe you are the authority without anything being published. Okay, Greg. So from your perspective, how quickly can publishing even basic educational content reposition any type of firm as more strategic in the eyes of a buyer?
I mean, if you publish it quickly and it's available right away.
Right. You would think it's becoming quicker now with video. You're right. Yeah, you can gain some traction pretty quick when you start publishing more videos, especially webinars. Nobody even has to attend the webinar. Send it out to everybody on your email list. Publish it on YouTube. Publish it on your website. You got to get that content out there so Google sees you are the expert. You know what the hell you're talking about. That's just how Google works. That's how their algorithm works. All right, so the next topic is why consistency creates compounding growth. So a single piece of content doesn't change your pipeline. So don't think that's going to happen. All right. But consistent content creates momentum. Every blog becomes a search asset. Every video clip becomes a trust builder. Every webinar becomes a lead nurturing tool. Unlike paid ads, because I'm sure many of you have done it. We've done it. Unlike paid ads, which vanish when the budget stops, content keeps working. All right. MSPs who publish weekly build marketing equity. MSPs who don't publish consistently must chase leads. This is a long play. So keep that in mind. This isn't going to happen out. You're not going to start create your leads are not going to be coming in after 2 months, 3 months, even 6 months. This is going to take 10 to 12 months. It might occur sooner. It just depends on your market, depends on your competitors. Are they producing content also that's going to compete with your content? But if you're creating content on 3 different levels, such as blog, short form videos, and podcasts, and then you're hitting webinars too, oh man, you might get there in 6 months. Mark my words. I'm telling you. But you've got to pick a niche. Okay? Just remember that. Pick a niche. Don't create a generic message. You don't want to do that. You want to pick 2 or 3 industries, start creating content for those 2 or 3 industries. Now, the real blueprint for a lead producing content engine. What is that? Well, a modern MSP content engine isn't random posting. It's a structured rhythm. You've got weekly blogs, monthly. I'm going to recommend monthly webinars. You've got short form videos, which are 45 to 90 seconds long, not very long. Just sit there and give the top 5 top tools to keep your network secure. I don't care. There's so much to discuss. You've got social media, podcast conversations, and if you I'm not big on updating pages. I'm not gonna give you that advice. I'm gonna say if you stick to blogs, webinars, podcasts, short form videos, sharing them on social media, you're gonna knock it out of the park. This isn't about really marketing flair. It's about operational discipline, and that's a key word there. Discipline. You need to have the discipline to do this every week, or you delegate. There's nothing wrong with delegating. Buyers pre-qualify MSPs long before contact, and the firms that educate them consistently earn the highest trust before the first call. Why are they going to trust you? Because you've published information. You've talked about it in your videos. You've illustrated in your webinars. You discuss it on your podcast. Okay? And who cares if nobody downloads it? You got one important person listening. Google. Google is the most important audience out there. They're the ones that are going to determine this guy knows what he's talking about. They've got content to prove it. We're going to put him at the top of the list for organic searches. So, Greg, what content elements do you feel MSP should prioritize first if they're starting from ground zero but need momentum quickly?
Whatever they're working on.
So, yeah, that's good advice. I agree. I mean, when you're discussing content, definitely pick something that you are working on and you know extremely well. So, and we're not like a SaaS provider. Like how many, if Microsoft can create thousands of blogs about Office 365, one product, you've got as an MSP so many topics to discuss. I mean, it's endless. It's endless. Trust me, it is endless. Now, the last topic I want to discuss is why your website will never produce leads without quality content. A website is not a funnel. It is a container. The content engine is what fills it. Without consistent insights, your site has no gravitational pull, no reason for buyers to return, and no path to demonstrate expertise. Remember, you've got to illustrate your level of experience and your expertise. And it's not in conversations you're having at networking events. This is how you illustrate your expertise and experience is on your website. The MSPs who win today aren't simply better at operations. They're just better at communicating their value publicly. They're not embarrassed. They're not shy. You know what? You might be shy. I'll admit, I hate. I today to this day, I hate making videos. I just don't like it. I I force myself. I've disciplined myself to create videos every week, podcast conversations every week. So we're a little spoiled over here. So because we got leads coming in every day, so it tempts me to miss a week, right? I get a little tempted to, oh, I don't have to do that because we've hit our quota for leads. No, we never stop. There is no quit in me. The discipline has to be there if you plan on having a consistent pipe filled with leads. You just have to produce. There's no excuses here. Lead generation is not a design problem. It is a content discipline problem. Keep that in mind. That D word is going to haunt you, or you're going to embrace it. But you got to have discipline in order to become the authority online. So, Greg, let me ask you one last question. In your experience, how often is the website blamed for what is actually a lack of content problem inside the business?
A content, what was that? What are you saying? I don't understand that question.
So I'm sure you visited many IT service firm websites.
Yes.
Right? And a lot of these websites are blamed for, I see them every week. They lack content. I can go to a page, they're like, we provide SOC services, and you get there and there's 4 sentences there. There's a lack of content inside every website I go to. Out of hundreds of websites that I've visited, I'll go thousands. Maybe one has hit a home run. One. It's ridiculous. It's because they are not producing content, and they tell a poor story. You got to tell a story. If you plan on saying, hey, I know how to solve problems for the medical industry, okay, we'll talk about the problems. Don't talk about how great you are. Talk about how you understand the client's business, your prospect's business. That's how they understand that you're a good fit, because you're illustrating, everything that goes wrong with their business. So create 7 or 8 big problems in the medical industry. What are those popular 8 problems that you solve? Talk about it on your website. And I'm not talking about writing a novel, okay? If you go to our website, I have a very powerful, intuitive image. And right next to it is probably 2, 3 sentences that illustrate the problem we solve. Nothing. We're not writing novels here, guys. We're not writing paragraphs upon paragraphs about our expertise. It's a very powerful headline and a very powerful 2, 3 sentences that illustrate the problem we're solving. We're not talking about how great Gregory is or how great his team is, or
we should. We should talk about that all the time.
Yeah, well, we don't. We're not. We won't ever do that. We're going to talk about the problems we solve for our prospects, and that's what's important. That's what people. That's what your that's what your visitors want to see. All right. So let me just close with. Well, let me just give a quick plug on the MSP Corner, because Gregory and I, we're on a mission to deliver valuable content to our members. We're creating content every week, having conversations that solve problems for you guys, put you on the right path. But our main goal, well, as founders of an MSP, we know the struggles many of you go through, and the whole reason behind creating this platform is because we're here to develop we're developing guides to help you through your challenges, your pain points, and what we call them frameworks, right? They're here to solve marketing, selling challenges. Obviously, you guys want to scale without investing more money in your business. We'll have conversations on how to scale your business. So, and we're lining up these resources to help you with outbound campaigns. We'll have SEO experts, PPC experts, and much, much more. So let me just close with this. Most MSPs aren't invisible because they lack talent or experience. They're invisible because they silence themselves. Your expertise only matters if it's visible, consistent, and more important, accessible. You don't need perfect content. You need persistent content. Every week, every month, every quarter, build the engine, and your website finally becomes a lead magnet instead of a static placeholder. Start small, build a rhythm, and let consistency become your competitive advantage. And watch, be patient. Don't be one of those instant gratification guys that are like, I want it tomorrow. This takes time. And think about it. If let's just say you decide I'm going to get into bodybuilding, and you're like, okay, I'm going to go to the gym tomorrow, and I'm going to be a bodybuilder next week. No, it doesn't happen like that. It takes weeks and weeks of work. You don't get to, you've got to earn it. You've got to work for it. Anything that is going to have a huge reward, you're going to have to go out and earn it. So take those words and live by them, because if you do not, and you're just going to eventually stop following a plan. You need a plan. All right, thanks for listening, and don't forget to sign up to be a member at www.mspcorner.com. Please share our link with the CEO who will find our information beneficial to their business. Have a great day.
Thank you for listening, and don't forget to sign up to be a member on www.mspcorner.com. Please share our link with the CEO who will find our information beneficial to their business. Have an awesome day.